Hello everyone, it's Simmuz here. Welcome to a brand new video. And in today's video, we're not gonna just talk about The Sims 4 as the game, but we are going to talk about the new EA rules about mods and CC that has come out in the last couple of weeks. And we are going to talk about what that means, what it means for mods and creators, and how it is going to affect your game. So, of course, we're going to talk about the brand new article that was released, I think, on the 21st of July, about the regulation for mods and CC and for payment of those. And EA has released this statement. It's the first time, I think, that it is an official statement regarding mods and CC. I'm going to talk about what it means, what the changes are, and probably also the reason why it was brought out in the first place. So, of course, if you're interested in other kind of videos like these, let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like to this video so that it really supports me, but we are just gonna dive into and talk about this. So I'm also gonna link it down below in the video, but this is the article that released by EA, and it's called The Sims 4 Mods and Games Updates. Of course, as I said, it's gonna be in the description down below. So if you wanna read it for yourself, you're more than welcome to, but we're gonna give it a little read together first. So this is the most important part, of course, is the Sims policy on mods. They say, we know that mods are an important part of your game experience. For the reason we support a framework in The Sims 4 that lets it easier for you to install and use mods, which is true. The Sims 4 supports mods, so if you want to use mods, it's pretty easy to do so. But the Sims team does not pre-screen, endorse, or specifically support any particular mod. You should use mods with caution and understand that there may be risks. And this is the part that has got a lot of mod creators and CC creators riled up. Here they say that we have a long tradition of supporting creativity in our community. We do not object to mod developers continuing to share their amazing content, subject to the following. Do not promote your mods in a way that suggests they are endorsed by or affiliated with The Sims, Maxis, or Electronic Arts. This means you cannot use any game's logos or trademarks, including version of the plan Bob or key art designs to promote your mods. You may state that your mods are for The Sims 4 and or for a specific game expansion pack. Honestly, this first rule, I don't think it's too bad. Like, you cannot use plan Bobs. I guess it makes sense because I remember a lot of people used to do like, oh, this is my new stuff pack, and you're like, oh, it's a new stuff pack, but then you go in and it's actually custom content, which is totally fair and it's fine in my opinion, but clearly EA does not think it's the same. So I highly suggest, if you are a content creator that does mods or custom content, you strive away from that kind of like talk and the images that you might use, like plan Bobs and the logo of The Sims. But this is the other part. Mods must be non-commercial and distributed free of charge. Mods cannot be sold, licensed, or rented for a fee, nor can mods contain features that would support monetary transactions of any type. However, Maxis recognized that creating mods takes time and resources. Accordingly, mod developers may recoup their development costs via passive advertisement and donation, as long as passive advertisements and requests for donation must be limited to the mod website or distribution site and not appear within the mods itself. All user must be able to access the mod in full for free regardless of whether they donate. And here we reserve the rights to address any inappropriate mods, including mods that infringe intellectual property or privacy rights of others, contain obscene, objectionable, or harmful content, jeopardize the integrity of the Sims 4 gameplay, or otherwise violate the EA user agreement. And here they also give a way for people to report mods. So if you have a mod that has concerns, you know, you can also start to report it. Let's start by answering some questions. The first question that I'm going to be answering is, what was the old policy before this specific update for mods, which has been completely new? Before that, we did have some rules regarding mods and CC, especially related to payment. Nothing was like straight up official from the site, I don't think. It was all about a sim guru replying, I think on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken, to someone and saying that early access paid is fine as long as after a 2 weeks period you release the content for free. It has always been the same that you had to release content for free after a certain amount of time, so all those sites and other creators that permawall their content, they were against the EA user agreement already. The EA TOS already stated that you had to release the content after a certain amount of time. So of course that did not change, as of right now is actually more enforced, I think. Thanks to this article, there is an actual official source that states that you have to release your content for free. And the difference between the old policy and the new policy is clearly all about the actual paying for the mod. So before this official statement, Simmuz that created mods and custom content could have people pay them for it. So they would set up like a Patreon maybe and gave early access to their Patreons for like a couple weeks before everybody else, and then after a couple weeks they would release it. I know this statement doesn't specify exactly about early access, but as of me right now recording this, I know the Sims community released another article about this where they saw that some people asked the EA help about this early access feature, and early access was also banned. I guess that is kind of what I'm going for. I'm gonna leave a screenshot of the Sims community article and also leave it in the description down below so you can check it out. So apparently also early access payment is not allowed anymore. Only free donations, like if you go on a Patreon and you want to donate, or if you want to give them like a PayPal account, whatever, or if you want to drop some money for them, that is all fair, but apparently you cannot have early access or permawall content. So I think this means I have to explain what the difference between permawalling and early access was. So permawalling content was something that some creators did, which is basically never give the free version of the asset or the mod ever out for everybody to use, which was, as I said, against EA's TOS and also already against EA's user agreement, as was already specified by that sim guru way long ago, that they said they had to be released after 2 weeks period. And I think that might also definitely have an influence on the way this article has been written, because clearly they are completely ending the way for permawalling to be allowed. So all of the creators that are used to having their Patreons always pay for all their content, that's not going to be possible anymore. Permawalling means you will never ever release that to the public, and it's always going to be paid. Well, early access is another way that creators heard to make money, where some people that wanted to could have early access for their mods or their custom content by paying a fee, like whatever, $5, $10, whatever. And you could pay that, have the mod early, like a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks earlier than other people, play with it, and then it would be released to the public. So these creators were still released to the public anyway. So that is the difference between the permawalling and the early access. You can see that it's clearly the big difference, because in the end, even with early access, the creators would still get a little bit of money because some of their fans or like whatever kind of people want that mod would pay a little bit more to get it before others, and then they would still be released to early access. I'm going to show a couple of reactions that I saw on Twitter from people that do mods and what happened. This is a reply I found from one of my friends, Day, and this is a screenshot from Tumblr, I think. And she said, I just saw someone post this from a creator. Those that have perma walls are probably going to delete everything out of spite now. And you can see this creator, I don't know this creator, I think it's Tumblr. You can see they said, stating the mods at CC are not allowed to make any profit off of creations anymore, only via optional donation. While we love creating, we also have bills to pay and do not have the luxury to put out hours of work out for free. Right now we are in the process of removing everything from June to the very beginning of our Patreon career. This saddens us deeply because we had so much in the works to bring out for you guys, but we refuse to put out our hard-earned work for free. We're very sorry for all of you who looked forward to continuing this journey with us, and all of you who have been with us from the beginning as well. And this is one of the reactions. If we go here to Signing Up Mac, this is another Patreon post from another creator that is saying that they will delete all of the builds that I made. I think they were making builds and sims for people to download, which is a whole other story in my opinion. But yeah, as you can see, they are going to delete everything as well. And this, you can see it from Tim Sims. This is basically a fake cease and desist apparently. From a creator that is against the EA new rules and wants to go, like, they have a cease and desist so EA cannot touch them, which of course is not true. Also, just a cease and desist, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure cease and desist don't have any legal weight. It's just a way that you're saying, I might use my lawyers in the future if you don't stop. So technically, legally speaking, they don't really have any weight. Also, especially if you have international cases, I think I read that this creator that posted this is Chinese, so I'm pretty sure that on international law that does work even different. So it's definitely weird. And again, from Day, I know the creators that benefited from the permawalls were about to split. Looks like Cowbells found a loophole though. And basically this creator that, again, I don't know this creator, they are going to sell the patron free models conversion for The Sims 4 in the form of a package file, which they may use in the usual game, but they are thinking of selling 3D models. I don't think this is legal again, because they are still giving out Sims 4 content, so technically speaking it would still fall in the same realm as the others. But let's talk about what I think of this situation. I have always kind of despised the perma-walling of content. I don't think that is fair, also because it was against EA TOS in any case. I totally understand wanting to gain money from doing mods and creation, because it does take time, it does take talent, so of course it's totally fair that creators would want to gain a certain amount of money from that. And I think early access was the perfect way to do so. You would get still a perfect amount of money, because you would get those 2 weeks of people wanting your mods, wanting your creations, and paying for those, and then you would have to release it to the public anyway. So if people didn't want to pay and did still want to use the mods, they didn't have to, and would wait just those 2 weeks and get the content. Of course, I think that all the perma-walling accounts and all the issues that they had with perma-wallings, I know there was a big scandal with doxing as well with some creators. Some of them I think I also just said the names of while reading the tweets. I know there was a big doxing scandal where they released people's names and addresses of their patrons that wouldn't, I'm not sure if it was their patrons or people that would repost their content. It was a big thing, and of course I think that also played a part in this. But clearly also EA rules has always been that you had to release the content after a certain amount of time, and they really wanted to enforce that apparently. Another thing that I think influenced EA to release this statement, and I got that from this part of the article here, where it says, we reserve the right to address any inappropriate mods, including mods that infringe the intellectual property or privacy, obscene or objectionable or harmful content. I think those are related to the scandal that was a while back. There was a Wicked Whims add-on, which is not created by the original creators of Wicked Whims, which allowed to have sexual intercourse with toddlers and children and animals. And of course, that was completely disgusting. A lot of people were very much against it, of course, on Twitter, and it got so big that the actual Sims account replied and said, oh, we don't endorse this kind of mods, this is not us, we do not endorse these. And I think that is also part of the reason why they are doing this. They are probably gonna crack down on these kind of mods, so I'm not sure if any other like spicy mod, just to say it like that, like Wicked Whims or Best Mental Drugs or other kind of like adult mods will have some kind of crackdown on them, or something EA is gonna check on them. I'm not sure, but I'm positive that that event also did influence the EA's decision of releasing this statement. Talking about the early access, on one side I understand why EA did that, because you as a creator that wants to keep your content perma-walled, you can say, no, it's early access, but it's just the way early access lasts 5 years, and then you have to release 5 years old content, and you're probably like, okay, that's fine, I can do that. Which of course would be basically just perma-walling your content again. But for all the creators that didn't have this issue of perma-walling, they would just do those 2 weeks of early access and then release the content. I think that was pretty fair, and it would help the creators gain a little bit of money for the time that would spent on making mods and such. And I do understand that, of course, mod creation and CC creation isn't supposed to be like 100% your income, because it can vary a lot. But I know a lot of people do actually have it as their income, or at least like a big part of what comes in to help them with expenses, just because of the situation right now with the economy and issue with finding work, and also like maybe disabled creators that have harder time finding a job. They might use this as a way to gain a little bit of money. So I totally understand the need of getting paid for doing this. And also it's a freaking job. Like, you create, you test it, you post it, you promote it, it's a whole thing. So I would I personally would have kept the early access set at 2 weeks, and I think it would have been already like something pretty major for EA to address it officially and say, oh no, it has to be 2 weeks or after that it's gone. This way right now, where how they see it and how apparently it is, the only way you can help a mod creator is by passive income. So if you want to give them some money, if you want to donate to them, you can, but they have to release freely. And there are those creators that steal their stuff, those creators that do shady things, of course, but that is not the majority of creators, and I think it's not fair for the rest of creators that always adhere to the rules that they have to suffer as well. But now this is the question. Do I think EA is actually gonna do something about this? Not really. So I'm not a lawyer, of course, so don't listen to me for legal advice, but I don't think EA is actually gonna enforce this unless they do get any kind of report from people. So that could be a possibility, since there is the new way of sending reports of content. If a lot of people start to report the mod, EA is probably gonna have a look into it. But I don't think EA is gonna have a team and go around and check the content and be like, oh, you are permawalling, you are doing this, you are doing early access, how dare you, and sue them. I think that's so much work because there is such a big modding community in The Sims, so it would take a lot of resources and time. I think it is also gonna be based on reports. So if a lot of people start reporting a mod, if a lot of people start talking about this, that is probably gonna be when EA steps in. So overall, is this going to affect the mods and CC in The Sims 4? Yes and no. I saw a lot of creators, of course, saying, of course, being very distraught by the news, but most of them are saying that they will continue to make content and they will continue to give it out for free. So what I highly suggest you do, if you use mods, if you use custom content, I highly suggest you tip your creators. Give them some donation, give them some money, because if they are working for free, now you can help them this way. So always tip your creators if you can. Always download stuff that you want to support. So just give back to the creators that spend a lot of money, a lot of time working on the objects and things and mods that you use in game. And I think that's gotta be the best way to kind of resolve this. Personally, I think that EA, if they wanted to leave early access on, that would be totally fair, because they still give the community the tool to go to the creators and be like, hey, it's supposed to be 2 weeks. See, there is this official statement. Check this out. I have an official statement. If you don't release it after 2 weeks, I'm going to report it to EA. They still give this tool to the community, which of course has those downsides and upsides. It can be good because the community can come together and be like, oh no, you're doing something bad. But also it can be bad because the community can come together and be like, oh, I don't like you, so you are doing something bad now. Which, of course, it's always a possibility. But what I think is, if EA releases a statement saying, early access is okay, just release it after 2 weeks, it's gonna be so much better for everybody, for creators, that they're gonna still keep part of their income or most of their income if they already kept with the rules. And it's gonna be great for the consumers because they can still support their creator easily by buying early access, or still wait for the mods and the CC to be released afterwards. Overall, I think it might still affect the entire CC community because some creators still decided to stop creating, delete all of their content. But of course, those creators that don't want to keep up with the mods now that they cannot get paid are in the minority, I think. So overall, I don't think the modding and CC community scene is going to change much. There's definitely gonna be some deletion, there is gonna be some animosity, and there is a lot of animosity right now on Twitter, for example. But overall, I don't really see a big change coming, because as what I've read on Twitter. Of course, I'm not a mod creator, I'm not a CC creator, I don't do any of these kind of things, so I cannot speak for everybody, but from what I've seen on Twitter, most creators seems to be like, oh, I will do that because EA said so, so if you want to support me, just donate, and they'll continue to do their work. And of course, as I said, there are the minority. I showed you the minority. So to sum this up, EA is against early access and permawalling, basically mostly permawalling, and also they want to make sure mods are safer because of what happened in the past with some mods being weird. Is it actually gonna affect the community? Partly, but not as much as people think. Do I think it is actually gonna do something? Not directly. Not directly, unless they're gonna get a lot of reports. Of course, if you are a mod creator or CC creator in the Sims community, let me know in the comments down below what you think. And if you're not a mod or CC creator, but you still want to give me your opinion, I'd love to know in the comments down below as well, because I'd love to have an open conversation about this. As I said, this is basically my opinion. I'd love to know if other people agree, if they disagree. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video, and bye bye.